Today I'm going to be letting you know if Warzone is fixed yet. Yeah, I've been taking a bit of time away from the game. I know a lot of other people have been doing as well. Warzone, and yeah, since the launch of Black Ops 6, it's safe to say, has not been in the best of places. In fact, I felt it was in such a bad place that I needed to do a video on it not too long ago, listing the 10 biggest issues with Warzone and Black Ops 6 and why that means you probably should be playing it, and ultimately why you still will. Now, I've had a couple of months off. I've been spending this past week getting back into the game and sort of assessing where these 10 big hitters for what's wrong with the game are and how many have the developers managed to fix, essentially. We've had wave after wave of huge patch updates with loads of bug fixes, but is the game yet in a place where it's worth your time playing it? So if you've not been playing and you're thinking, is now the time to come back? Is the launch of Verdansk, is that going to be worth coming back for? Or if you've still been playing and just wondering, am I going mad or are these things still here? I'm here for you. I've got my own opinions. I've got my own informed opinions on it. So straight into it with number 10 on the list, weapon balancing and meta. Yeah, traditionally Warzone has always had this thing where they don't balance the weapons too well, especially when the new game integrates. They get it set for about like a month or two before like the end of the year-long life cycle, and then they ruin it again with the launch of the new game. And Black Ops 6, surprise, surprise, was no different there whatsoever. Yep, it came along, ruined everything. We've basically had to put up with the XM400 rounds for God knows how long. That might have been the last time you even saw the game. So I'm happy to report, actually, that the weapon balancing is in a good place. Yeah, we've got a good balance of ARs versus snipers. Neither one is particularly dominant. I think you're absolutely free to use an AR or a sniper. Obviously, snipers are going to excel at the longest ranges. The ARs can compete a little bit, but the snipers are suitably balanced so that they're not so overpowered that you're getting your head ripped off from 1,000 yards by Billy Bob with no thumbs every time you step out in the open. No, I think it's a good balance. There are a few SMGs to choose from. There are a couple of like stronger ones at the moment, like the KSV, the C9 or MP5, still pretty popular. I've been running a PPSH quite a lot. A couple of good options. Others are usable, but the main point is there's not like one SMG or one gun that if you're not using, you're going to lose every time you encounter that gun. And that's where we want to be. So that's like a really good place as far as I'm concerned. LMGs and shotguns, still pretty awful. You don't run into them too much, and there's a good reason for that. They're just not good. But on balance, I think that the meta at the minute, it's in a good place. Number 9 on the list is visibility. Yes, we've had issues with the game historically, ever since the origins of the Rose skin, with dark player operators lurking in corners and jumping out at you without a moment's warning. And that is pretty much still the case. Yeah, unfortunately, we still have some issues with Viz and lighting in particular. You know, you get a little bit of help if you're on a controller with aim assist, but as a mouse and keyboard player in particular, you are absolutely chalked if you are trying to use the PPSH in the gulag as it stands, because you cannot see a flipping thing between the muzzle flare and you know, smoke and like I say, the operator's just blending into the background. But with this being number 9 on the list, this isn't necessarily a game breaker in isolation. So we'll need to run through the rest of the things on this list to see if the game is actually still chalked or not. But Viz, next to no improvements been made on visibility. Still definitely somewhere where the developers need to be improving it as far as I'm concerned. But an area where they have made improvements, I'm pleased to report, is audio. Yeah, the in-game audio has been vastly improved. Whereas we had no footsteps, then incredibly loud footsteps with ridiculous reverberation to the point where you could hear people, you know, 100 meters away, but then you were also hearing all the echo off your own footsteps. All that has sort of been toned down and balanced now, so that I think it's actually in a really good state. I think directional audio, so you know, so as you look around your 360 compass, it's always been reasonable, but now it's really clear, and it's sort of balanced out to a decent range, so you're not hearing people like 400 meters away, and likewise people aren't just creeping up on you and stabbing you in the back. People aren't creeping up on you and stabbing you in the back without you realizing they're there, so that's good. In terms of Verticality, I think it's still not as strong. I don't know, it might be me a little bit, but I still don't find it as easy sort of judging the height of enemies. But I think that's more because the way your headphones are set up with like left and right, like how do you sort of balance that? I think it's like a technology thing. So fair play. Shh, phone. Put that on silent. Right. Despite our audio interruptions there. Moving on to number 7 on the list, which is skill-based matchmaking or engagement-optimized matchmaking. Recently, we had somebody who used to work on the COD development team as recently as 2020. They did an interview with Insider Gaming Magazine, and they gave a load of insight into the inner workings of SBMM and their views on all that. And despite all the white papers and everything that's been sort of put out by Call of Duty, I think we all understand what SBMM is. It's a way of basically just keeping people playing the game. The sweats will play no matter what. The people who are casual and are going to get a little bit like stomped on, it's to please them. Let's face it, it's to please the people who don't want to put time into the game, getting better, and it's to make sure they're having a nice time. It's their little safe space. But anyway, but has SBMM changed? No, it's not. No, SBMM is exactly the same as it's always been. I've been playing COD a long time. I've got back into it in a big way since Warzone came out. And by this point, I'm no demon, but I play in a certain play style that means I get put in with all like the top players, iridescent ranked skins and top 250 sort of ranked players. And that's just the way it is. That's just the game I have. It means I almost never win. Get a few kills, but yeah. We also had the little round of information that went on where people were realising you could access all your privately held data by Activision, and so we got a little insight into all the crazy array of data that Activision uses to sort of make up your lobbies. And it's not just about your KD, which you probably would have expected. It's not just about your wins. It all goes into how much you move, how much you use your gun or your weapon accuracy, all these kind of things, crazy statistics, the number of hours you play, all that kind of stuff. And essentially, that's how it judges how good a player you are. Well, maybe not how good a player you are, but essentially who it's going to match you up with. So if you're somebody who moves around a lot, you're seen as a higher skill player and you're going to get put in with higher skill players. If you're somebody who likes camping corners and just sitting on a power position, you're going to get easier lobbies. Is that a good system? I don't think so. Let me know in the comments what you think about it. It is a bit of a divisive issue. I wish they just get rid of it. Keep protected lobbies for like the bottom 1% of people, but otherwise, get rid of it. It's a competitive game. I'm not saying you need to dedicate all your hours. Like, it's a fun thing to do outside of work and family and everything and school, whatever. But, play the game, get better, do better, not play the game, get given a load of bots to all play together. That's what rank plays for, surely. But anyway, maybe I'm crazy. Let me know what your thoughts, like I say. So SBMM number 7, still exactly the way it's always been. Get rid. Please, Call of Duty, please get rid of it. Number 6, you may not have any friends playing a game. And I can only talk from my own personal experience, but, surprisingly, nobody has come back to play the game that's previously quit it. In fact, it's going the other way. The people who were playing, like my last sort of like core couple of friends who were still sticking with it, they're almost all gone now. Like, I'm literally just solo playing. I'm still in a position where I can only play solos or with randoms because of the whole combination of that and SBMM. Yeah, and the recent talk is obviously Verdansk's coming back potentially in March. Potentially, we'll see. Nothing confirmed yet. I'll be the first to let you know. But Verdansk is supposedly bringing people back to their game. Now, that's what people are saying. I've been and asked my group of friends already, and unfortunately, it's a no-go. I'm not getting this. We're not getting the team back together. Yeah, unfortunately, they're not interested. They've been too burnt by the previous experience and just having fun, doing other things or just living their lives outside the world of computer games now. Unfortunately, so yeah, the whole Verdansk thing won't be getting repeated as not for me anyway. So, but I imagine everybody's in the same position, basically. Anybody who's quit hasn't come back, and that's unlikely to change, at least until Verdansk comes back. Will people stick around after that? I think that's going to be reliant on the state of the game when they release it. But in terms of the next item on the list, other alternatives. Yes, there are other games available. There's always other games available. No end of single-player games that are worth playing, you know, whether it's something new or even some old classic. Like there's the old Command & Conquer series keeps popping up on Steam for like £5. And if I had any time at all, I'd love to just run through and play all of those games all over again. But in terms of multiplayer games, you know, there are alternatives, but are they as good as COD? I want to say as good as COD. Are they as good as COD on COD's best day? That's a tricky one. That is a tricky one. Delta Force, I've had a little dabble back in that. That's pretty good. I want to play some more of Delta Force, definitely. Solo campaign, sort of jury's out on that one. Fortnite, I've been playing some Fortnite. Okay, I know I'm a grown-up. I've been playing Fortnite. Shoot me, all right. I've been enjoying it. I've never played it before, like sort of until this year or just before Christmas. Yeah, I've been enjoying Fortnite. PUBG, that seems to be making a bit of a resurgence, or just it's always been bubbling under the background. But yeah, I think I'm going to give that a go. But in terms of other things out there, you know, there's nothing quite does it the same as COD. I know Marvel Rivals has been getting a lot of attention, but I don't know. I mean, I've even downloaded it. I even loaded the game up, and I got as far as like the start menu, and I was like, do you know what? I just can't be bothered playing this. I don't know. It just seems like a very repetitive, short time, you know, low thought arcade shooter sort of thing. And I know COD multiplayer is a little bit like low thought, but yeah, it's just not grabbing me. But in terms of other games out there, I think COD is still king, and I think until Battlefield comes back and gives us a really good Battlefield game, I think that's a little bit what we're suffering from here. It's just nothing does it quite as well as Call of Duty does. So fingers crossed, Battlefield, DICE, please. Yes. So number 4 in the list is cheating. Yeah, cheating, it sort of peaked at the end of Season 1. It was in a horrendous state, absolutely horrendous. You know, I will say that people in the higher skill level lobbies are going to experience it a little bit more, because if you're cheating, you're going to quite quickly make your way up into those kinds of lobbies. But cheating was like almost every game at the end of Season 1. I'm happy to say it's not as bad as it was. It's still bad. It's still so bad that all, you know, like the streamers and real serious people playing ranked, they've now moved over to console to sort of help with that problem there. But for the majority of us, I'd say you go into like a public game, certainly the level levels, you're not going to encounter cheaters too much. When I go in, I've probably, you know, I played several hours over this past week, and I have encountered a handful of cheaters. So they are still there. They are still cheating. I think still people are trying to cover up cheating. They're not being as blatant with it. I don't know why. There's that sort of changing culture among cheaters. There's less, you know, spin button going on and absolute rage hackers, but cheating is still a thing, unfortunately. And as part of that, the cheating paranoia is way up there as well. Like, you'll be playing a game, you're a legit player, and you're just constantly having people like raging at you, like accusing you of cheating. And it's just because everybody thinks everybody's cheating now. That's where we're at, unfortunately, because of the abundance of cheating. Nope. Cheater? Am I cheating, mate? I've got a portable UAV up. I've got a portable UAV up. More like. Okay, good, son. Cheating's better, but still there. Is it game breaking? Not at the minute, but it's definitely something they need to keep in check and hopefully improve on for any future titles. 3, stale content. Stale content. Well, what can I say? We're still playing Uzbekistan after, what, 18 months or something? Is it even longer than that? Maybe even 2 years? Surely not. It feels like it. And if not only have we not had any changes, they've rolled back all the changes we had in preparation for the launch of Black Ops 6. Yeah, the Black Ops 6 integration. So since Black Ops 6 came out, we are playing the original Warzone. In terms of multiplayer maps, the events have been very lackluster, haven't they? Let's face it, compared to Modern Warfare 3, where Sledgehammer absolutely nailed it. They're the former game developers for Modern Warfare 3. That was a cracking game. No end of content. Every week we had a different event, different weapon or something to unlock, something to keep you entertained, even if the rewards are a little bit hit and miss. But I'm feeling a little bit unloved as a Warzone player, I've got to be honest. And with multiplayer having more problems than Warzone, I would say, this year, it's leaving it feel a little bit dry. So they need Verdansk, but they need to get it right. So let's remain hopeful, hope for the best, plan for the worst sort of situation. Don't get your hopes up, but be hopeful, if that makes sense. And so in terms of the stale content, I mentioned there we have had some new maps to multiplayer. And so on to point number 2, the multiplayer maps are bad. And, you know, the original map array has not changed. Most of the multiplayer maps from launch are bad maps, in my opinion. They're chaotic. There's no way of playing tactically in terms of covering your sight lines, and it's all just about, see first, shoot first kind of thing. Just a bit like mindless stuff. You know, they brought out a few new maps, sort of varying success. 2 of the most recent ones, Grind. I think that's a really good map, but that's just a remaster of an old map, so it's not new. Fortunately, I didn't play that back in the day, so I'm sort of getting to enjoy that one now for the first time, but I've enjoyed that. Bullet, you know, one of those stupid brain rot maps, isn't it? The face-off maps. I had like 2 goes on that. It was fun, but I'm not going to play that for any length of time. It's a silly one, isn't it? It's almost like a little limited time mode sort of thing. And then we've had the Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles event, which has obviously been covered in controversy because everybody's up in arms over the fact that to buy all 4 skins costs like £80 or $80 or something, and it seems like, you know, the game developers are more interested in touting all their stuff for the store and all the operator skins than they are in terms of making a decent event and making the game fun to play. That one's a little bit open to interpretation, that one, isn't it? You know, we could be a bit cynical and say that they don't really care about us and they're just milking this cash cow as far as they can get it. But I'm hoping Verdansk comes back and we get some love back for the game. And so with the biggest issue, number 1 on our list, the thing that has essentially kept me off multiplayer for the majority of the time since Black Ops 6 launched, because it was particularly bad if you're playing on Steam, but the network connection and lag, server issues, all that kind of jazz. You'd run into a fight, you'd fire first and then still die first, even if you're using the same gun and landing all your shots, all that kind of jazz. You know, you're playing Warzone where somebody's got 300 health, you've got 300 health, and you die like instantly, as if you're playing hardcore, all this kind of rubbish. It's better. Again, it is better. Is it perfect? No, it's not. Have they still got like low tick rate servers on Warzone, so it updates slower than the sort of speed of the game we're all whizzing around at with Omni movement and all that kind of stuff now? Yeah, they probably still need to make the servers quicker. They probably still need to make more improvements to them. Are you feeling like 50% of your gunfights are a load of BS? Probably not. Probably better than that now. I can get through an entire session and not just get so wound up and irate and angry that I want to launch my desk.
Are you sure about that?
No, honestly, how is that even possible? How is that even possible? I've got like 3 little bursts on him, and then he just insta-kills me. This is the worst game ever when it's the worst game.
Remember your pressure points.
And so that's got to be a good thing. But let's face it, we shouldn't be getting close to that, should we? We should be walking away from our session and going, oh, wasn't that fun? I'm ready to go back to my family now with a smile on my face and think, that was a nice, relaxing little session of gaming. Let's get back to real life. But yeah, so that's how bad the network connection has been. It's better. Please, Call of Duty, continue to make those improvements. In terms of overall then, the list of 10 items, I think we are in a much better place with Black Ops 6 than we have been since launch. I said in my original video that deep underneath it all, there is a fantastic game in Black Ops 6. Some of the multiplayer maps were terrible. All of the issues I've talked about here, but the core sort of mechanics of Black Ops 6 and the guns and the Omni movement, I think it's a cracking game. And if we could just still dial some of these things in, I think we could still potentially get like the last 6 months of the year out of it. Could be a really good 6 months. And let's see what Verdansk is like. If you've enjoyed today's video, leaving a like means a lot to me. Thank you very much. And I will catch you in the next one.